Okay, we will start in a seated position. And if you have your yoga strap or your TheraBand, one of those two tools will be perfect. We're going to start by taking our yoga strap or our TheraBand and wrapping it around the ribs. So get your strappy tool, whatever you've got, and then just kind of take it, tuck it behind you, right about the bra line area, and then nothing extreme. We're just going to kind of crisscross it. What we want is a little feedback, so we're just going to crisscross it and loop it in itself so that it just stays in place and you don't have to handhold. If you want to tie it on, you can. I just like to kind of tuck my little ends of my loop so it gets tucked in, feels a little bit squeezy around the ribs, but you're not trying to choke the ribs out. All we want is some feedback. So get it around the ribs so that you could feel it if you take a nice big breath, and then you know you're there. And once you've got your strap wrapped around your ribs, take a second to just find a nice comfortable seated position. Close your eyes down if that feels good. And then just start by taking a couple nice deep breaths. Nothing fancy, nothing prescribed. Just allow your body to settle in. And then as you start to feel that kind of settling in sensation, your body's kind of chilling out, start to notice just that feedback against your strap or your yoga band, whatever you've got wrapped around your ribs. Just kind of tune in and notice. Good morning, Liz. Liz, we need TheraBand or yoga strap and a yoga block this morning. And we're tying the strap around the ribs. That's where we're starting. All right, so come back to your practice. Take a second to make sure you're settled into your seat. Head, heart, hips in line, shoulders are soft and down. Noticing that movement of breath in the rib cage. And now start to see if you can extend the breath a little bit longer. So take a longer inhalation and an even slower exhalation. And we want to see if we can feel that movement of breath in the ribs, and think of the rib cage moving front to back, side to side. So it's a nice big expansive breath, and hopefully you'll feel that feedback against your band or your loop. Keeping your breath going, nice long inhalations, nice slow exhalations. And now just notice the passageway through which your breath is coming in and out. So if you're breathing through your nose, notice your nose. If you're breathing through your mouth, notice your mouth. The preferred breathing method is through the nose, but if you're congested or if there's anything going on, breathing through the mouth is optimal if that's where the breath is coming in. So just allow your breath to come in wherever it's going, but notice the space with which it's coming in and out. And so now we're going to keep the breath coming in and out through the nose or mouth, wherever you're breathing from, keeping that expansive movement of breath in the ribs. So we want to imagine that we're really breathing into the rib cage, filling the lungs up. But as you do that work there, let that become a little bit more on autopilot. And now can you tune in down to your pelvic floor, to your hips, the place that's connected to the ground. And as you take those nice deep breaths, tune in and notice. There's no right or wrong if you don't feel it, but tune in and notice if you can feel any action or movement of breath. Specifically on the exhale, notice if you can feel any like drawing up from the pelvic floor, and see if you can find a little bit of a lowering down on your inhalation. So just see if you can notice that sense of breath in your pelvic floor. Keeping those nice deep breaths going, but now we're going to stack one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, pausing here for a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Great, and then with that intention set, the hand that's on the belly is going to stack on top of the hand that's on the heart, and we're going to move into some gentle movement of the head and neck. As you inhale, lift your chin upward towards the sky. And as you exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. And then as you keep this movement going, you're going to see if you can notice and feel that feedback against the yoga strap or the loop that's around your ribs. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Take a few more cycles of breath. Just move with your breath's rhythm. Take one more cycle of breath. Head is going to come to a neutral position. Hands are going to relax towards the knees, and then we're going to move right into a tick-tock of the head side to side. So you're just dropping ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. One more tick-tock of the head each side, and then head is going to come back to a neutral position, move right into a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest. And then notice here, you might notice feedback from your loop, or it might get in the way. So at this point, if it feels like it's in the way and it's not helping and benefiting your practice, you can always take it off and move it off to the side. But if things are feeling fine and it's staying in place, take about 3 more cycles of breath in this cat-cow, just moving with your breath's rhythm. And then once you've completed those 3 cycles of breath, find a neutral spine. And now at this point, take your strap or your TheraBand, and we're just going to unloose it, place it up towards the top end of your mat so you'll have it for when we get to our flow practice, and we're going to move right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand goes behind you. Take a nice big breath in. We're going to come back this side, but for now, take your twist over to the other side. Get your hand hold, find that tall spine, take a nice deep breath in. Beautiful. Come back to that original side. Take a nice leverage twist. So anchor against the knee, rotate just as far as feels good, maybe going just even a little bit deeper than you normally would. Take one good breath, maybe look over the back shoulder. And then we're going to soften up just a little bit, but not that soft that your heart is pointing towards your knees. So just a light sense of softness. So there's a little bit of wiggle room in the ribs, and then take that back hand and float it up so it's touching behind your head. And then we're going to lean over like you're taking the ear over towards your opposite knee. So find a nice big side bend and then lift yourself right back up and out. Take a nice big side bend, lift up and out. And now we're going to take that side bend and hold there for 3 cycles of breath. So you're going to find a side bend that feels sustainable. Notice the side of your ribs. Notice your breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift up with control, release that hand, and we're going to take our twist over to the other side. So find that big leverage twist. And then soften up just a little bit so there's that wiggle room for the ribs. And then once you feel like you found it, hand behind the head, lean over, take that side bend, and then lift yourself right back out. Beautiful. Lean over, take a side bend, and lift yourself up. And this time we're going to lean over and hold there for about 3 cycles of breath. So find a depth of work that feels good to you, and then see if you can tune in and notice the movement of breath in your ribs. Beautiful. With control, lift yourself on up, release your hand, rotate back to center, moving right into easy seated forward fold. So walk yourself out to a depth that feels good to you. Pause for a moment, notice your knees, notice your back, make sure everything's feeling good. And then if all things are feeling good, you're going to go as far forward into that fold as feels right. Staying nice and low, we're going to walk our hands over to the right. So just walk them over and off so you get that little bit of sense of opening through the side of the ribs. Take a nice big breath in. Awesome. And then walk through center, over and off the other side. Beautiful. Walk back through center. And then we're going to press into the fingertips with a little bit of strength. We're going to drag. So pull the abdominal muscles in, drag your fingers, pull yourself all the way up nice and strong. And then hands behind the back, nice tall fingers, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin, take a breath. Awesome. And then release, lean into your sits bones, switch the cross in your legs. Take a second to come back to that easy seat, but with the opposite cross in the legs, and then just give it all a second to find its way. Once you feel like it's a good, comfortable seat, walk yourself out maybe about halfway to that easy seated forward fold, and then pause just to notice. Make sure your knees feel good and your back feels good. Once you feel like you found a good place, walk yourself out to a depth that feels nice to you, and then take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to walk over to one side, finding that little bit of a side stretch. When you feel ready, walk through center, over and off to the other side. And then when you're ready, walk back to center, and then we'll come back up with strength. So press into the fingers, pull the abdominal muscles in, drag your fingers, pull your ribs back. Hands are going to swim behind the back, tall fingers, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, and we're going to take it into a tabletop position. So come onto all fours in any way that works good for you. And then once you've found that all fours, we're going to take it into a little bit of a march with our knees. So one knee is going to lift and then the other, just like you're almost like you're trying to just walk your table just a little bit. Awesome. Now, the next time that left knee touches down and the right leg lifts up, we're going to take it into 3 little fire hydrants, just lifting leg off and out to the side, bringing a little bit of movement into the hip and the thigh. And then once you've done those 3, set that foot down and switch right over to the other side. Left knee is going to lift up and out to the side, just taking about 3 fire hydrants, moving that thigh bone in the hip socket. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, set that leg down, both knees in line with the hips, move right into puppy pose. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead melt down. Take about 3 nice deep breaths here. When you feel ready, slowly and mindfully bring it back up to a tabletop position. We'll move right into a cat-cow here. Inhale as you drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale as you round your back. You take this work at the depth that feels appropriate for you. So if you've got any osteo stuff going on, osteopenia, osteoporosis, it might be a little bit more beneficial to keep the movements smaller. And rather than thinking about arching the back, you might think about lengthening the back. So take your time with this movement, finding the depth of work that is appropriate for your body. Great. And then from here, the next time your belly drops down, move right into scrape the peanut butter jar. We're just going to circle the ribs around. So we're going to take them down over to the side, circle them around, and then smooth those circles out, finding some nice fluid movement through the rib cage. Awesome. And then the next time the belly drops down, we're going to reverse directions and go the other way, smoothing those circles out as well. Nice. One more circle around. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring it to extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your butt back towards your heels, create a little space for yourself, and then let everything settle in. Belly, chest, and forehead melt down. Arms in a soft, relaxed position for now. So reduce as much efforting in your arms as you can find, and then just come back to your breath. See if you can notice the breath in your rib cage, notice your breath in the back of your body. We're going to come back to this position a couple times today. So just kind of tune in and notice, how do your knees feel? How do your hips feel? How does your back feel? Take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to keep the knees out nice and wide, swing the toes out to meet. So we're going to create that nice wide base down at the bottom half of the body. Left hand's going to walk in underneath the nose. Right hand's going to reach up towards the sky. And then we're going to take that right hand and tuck it behind you. So tuck it into the left hip crease. Once you've found that left hip crease or left side of the body, draw the right shoulder up and back, look towards the ceiling, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. When you're ready, release that hand around and down underneath your nose. Left hand's going to reach up towards the sky. And then if it feels available, that left hand's going to tuck behind you, right hip crease, or just tuck it into the right side of the body. Draw the left shoulder up and back, look up towards the ceiling, and then come back to your breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, release that hand down, swimming around and down. Both hands are going to be in a slightly closer position. We just want a little bit of space. So we're going to play around with, can you step your right leg up nice and wide to the outside of your right hand, and then sink your hips forward just a little bit. And then right away, we're going to pop that leg back. So we're going to step it back to that wide position, switch over to the other side. Can you step your left foot forward out nice and wide, sink your hips forward just a little bit, and then right away, step that leg back, both knees nice and wide, big toes together, bring it right back to your extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. This time, arms are going to be a little bit active. So we're going to let our elbows touch down to the ground, prayer hands together, and we're going to bring that nice little prayer hand behind the head. Take one more breath. Release the prayer hands from behind your head. Lift yourself up. We're going to hop the right foot forward. So we're going to keep that wide position with the legs. Hop your right foot forward to the outside of your right pinky finger. And then once you found your way there, right elbow is going to come up onto the right knee. Lift yourself up, and we're going to rotate just slightly. So we're going to think about pulling those bottom ribs forward. Take that top hand, reach up like you're taking an extended side angle. So this nice little variation of a side angle, reaching through the top hand. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release everything back down to the ground. Step that foot back into that wide position. Pull your butt back to your heels. Take a nice deep breath in. On your next inhale, lift your butt up away from your heels. Step your left foot up. So now we're finding that wide position again. Elbow to the knee, lift your torso up. Rotate the ribs so the bottom ribs are pulling forward. Take that top hand, reach it up, get your nice big side bend. Beautiful. Lift up. Both hands are going to float down to the ground. Step that left foot back, big toes together, knees nice and wide. Bring your butt back to your heels. Come back to that extended child's pose. Elbows to the ground, prayer hands behind the head. Take 3 nice big breaths. Wonderful. When you're ready, release your prayer hands, lift your butt up, swing your toes out, walk your hands out to meet. So nice wide position with the arms and the legs. Curl your toes under, take it into a wide downward facing dog. Lift your hips up. If it feels good to do so here, you can pedal out the legs. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Nice. Take one more pedal of each leg, and then when you're ready, pick up your heels, lower your knees. We're going to walk the hands and knees back into a relatively normal sized tabletop position, and then we're going to start to move our way down into a Sphinx position. So elbows and forearms are going to come down to the ground, elbows in line with the shoulders. Walk your legs towards the back end of your mat, and then gently lower your hips down. Once your hips have touched down to the ground, release your toes. Now we're going to pay attention to the low back for a second. So start by just giving your butt a little shake, a little wiggle, make sure it feels kind of loose and relaxed. And then we're going to draw the tailbone towards the heel. So we're going to create a little space in the low back, press into the hands, press into the elbows, draw your elbows back towards your ribs, squeeze between the shoulder blades. So heart forward, pressing up through the crown of your head, tailbone is reaching long towards the heel. So we've created some space in the low back. tune in for a moment here and notice how everything feels. Keep that active position with the body, and then we're going to take 3 nods of the head up and down. Beautiful. And then once you've completed those 3 nods of the head, we're going to walk the elbows wide and we're going to move right into our flapping fish. So right knee is going to draw up into that little bit of a tree frog position, but the knee is going to hike up even higher. We're going to stack our hands, pull the right elbow towards that right knee. So we're getting a little hug and squeeze in the side body. Turn your head. So left ear is going to rest on your forearm. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Lift your head, slide your elbows back to center, slide that right leg back, take a second, wiggle out your bum, shake everything out. And then once things are feeling good, slide the left knee up a little higher than you would go for your tree pose. Left elbow towards that left knee. So we get that little C curve in the spine, little hug in at the side body. Turn your head so that right ear are resting on your forearm. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Lift your head, slide that left leg back, come back through center, and then we're gonna keep a little bit of a crocodile position. So legs slightly wide, hands stacked, forehead's gonna rest on the head, but if you need to look up to see what's going on and then you put your head down and rest it, do what you need to do. But we're gonna start by just kind of shaking the hips a little side to side. So we're gonna rock the hips, but see if you can get a really nice loose groove going on. So not too much efforting. And then once you feel like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing, now see if you can just rest your head on your hands and let your hips rock a little side to side. This rocking can be good for the central nervous system, can be good for the hips, and can feel nice to the low back. But if it's creating any sensations that are not beneficial to you, you might choose to either make a very small maneuver or stop it altogether. Take one more moment here. And then when you're ready, let all of that come to stillness. Pause for a moment just in that restful crocodile position. Take a nice deep breath in. Notice your belly against the floor. And then when you're ready, legs are going to walk in a little closer to each other. Lift your head up. Hands are going to slide down so that they're alongside the shoulders. And then take 3 low cobras here. Inhale and lift your heart up. Exhale and lower down. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Beautiful. One more time here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. We're pushing our way all the way back to extended child's pose. So push your way up, big toes together, knees are going to walk nice and wide. Pull your butt back to your heels, make plenty of space for yourself. Come back to this position and take 3 more nice deep breaths. Awesome. Now we're going to take a little variation of our crisscross arms. So right hand is going to thread through and underneath, but we're going to keep the spine straight. So just the arm, not the whole spine is rotating, just the arm threads through. So it's more like that arm across the chest, that little crisscross there. So right hand is going to thread through, create plenty of space for the arm. And then once you feel like it's in a good position and your spine is fairly straight, let your forehead soften down. See if you can tune in and just notice the breath in the back of the body. Notice that little space that's been created specifically on that right side shoulder. Take a nice full breath in. Slow breath out. One more breath here. And then press gently into the left arm to make some space. Unthread that right arm, and then we're going to take it right to the other side. So left hand is going to thread across, keeping the spine nice and straight, making some space for that arm, and then dropping the chest down to a depth that feels appropriate. And then once you're there, can you tune in and notice the left shoulder blade, that space that's been created there, and can you notice the breath in the back of your body? Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, gently press into the right hand, create some space, lift that hand through and out, and then lift your butt away from your heels, walk your knees in so they're back into that tabletop position. One cat-cow here just to move the spine. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to a neutral spine, curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, hang out here for one cycle of breath. And then keeping the toes curled under, bring yourself up to tabletop position. On an exhale, lift up to downward facing dog, a gentle pedal or two of the legs. But then when you feel ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a nice fold at the top of your mat. Ragdoll fold would be preferred, nice generous bend in the knees, plenty of space for your belly and your chest, and then just give everything a second here to decompress. Let your spine be nice and heavy. Let your head be nice and heavy. So if you tend to look up, look forward, or look at your screen, now you know where you're going, you know where you're at. Can you let your head relax? Staying nice and low, we're going to walk the hands over to the left, just getting a little reach or stretch through the right side of the body. And then when you're ready, walk through center, walk your fingertips over to the right, getting a little stretch or reach through the left side body. Beautiful. And then walk back through center, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back. And then 2 more times like that. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back. Last time through, roll your shoulders up, around, down, and back. Nice. And then find your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Take a second to find it. So feet in a nice even position, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, rooting down into your feet, reaching up through the crown of your head, shoulders are anchored down. Gaze forward and then pause here for a moment to come back to your breath. Notice, if you can, the breath in your rib cage. Think of that as a front to back, side to side breath. Nice. On your next inhale, you're just going to lift your toes and then exhale, float your toes back down. Inhale and lift your toes, just your toes. Exhale, lower your toes down. One more time there. Inhale, lift your toes. Exhale, lower your toes, take it into your heels. Inhale, lift your heels up just as high as feels like you can control. Exhale, float your heels back down. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, lower your heels with control. One more time. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, lower down. Arms are going to reach up, and we're going to make that little temple mudra or interlace the fingers with the pointers up. So arms are going to reach up and overhead. Find that interlace of the fingers, pointers up, and then we're going to move right into a little tick-tock with the body. So taking it into some side bends, but moving gently from side to side. The depth of work here is just whatever feels the most comfortable to you, but make sure you're in control. And then if you notice that your shoulder tends to want to drop forward and round, make your movement even smaller so that the shoulders stay in line with the ribs. Beautiful. Now the next time you tip over to the right, stay there. Anchor down into your left foot. Reach up through the interlaced fingers, up through the pointers. Take one more nice big breath. With control, come through center, lean over to the left, anchor down into your right foot, reach through the pointer fingers. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. Unlace your fingers, float your hands down at your sides, roll your shoulders down and back. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time through here. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, glide the shoulders down, make some space so your shoulders feel nice and snuggled in. And then we're going to take a second to just tune in and focus to that solar plexus area. So as your palms are pressing forward, you're going to imagine that your ribs are drawing in towards each other and you're finding a sense of integrity or strength right at your center. So see if you can find that little tiny bit of work. And then if you feel like you've noticed it and things are feeling good, press the palms up and overhead as you maintain that sense of integrity in your center. How far up your arms go, that's going to look just a little bit different on each of us. So just make sure it's a safe and comfortable lift of the arms. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, unlace your fingers, float your arms down, roll the shoulders down and back. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, whatever feels better in your body. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or released, just whatever feels good to you. Hand to the knee, lift your chest. Pull that left hip crease back. Once you found that good strength in the legs, reach your arms up, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. Left hand is going to find the hip, right hand's going to stay up, and we're going to take 3 little side bends over to the left. So tip over just as much as feels good. Keep that strength in your legs. Lift yourself back up to center. Tip over to the left. Come back up to center one more time. Tip over to the left. Come back up to center, then take it right into a twist. Right hand's going to reach over towards that left knee, leverage against the knee, rotate to the left. Look over your back shoulder if you can. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release with control. Hands are going to float down. Frame that front foot. Take 3 half splits. Rock yourself forward and back just to a depth of work that feels good to you. Make sure your back knee feels comfortable with the work. Awesome. And then the next time you rock forward, curl the back toes under, lift your back knee up so you come through that runner's lunge. Heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Beautiful. Plant your palms, step back to a plank, but then right away, bring your knees down, lower yourself gently onto your belly. 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale and lower down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale to lower down. On this last one, we're going to lift and hold. Inhale, lift up, lift your hands away from the floor. Feel the strength in your back. Take a moment to notice. And then when you're ready, hands down to the ground, push your way all the way back to extended child's pose. So big toes together, walk your knees out nice and wide, bring your butt back towards your heels. Arms are going to extend out nice and long. Create some space for yourself here. Take 3 nice deep breaths. Beautiful. Lift your butt up away from your heels. We're going to step that right foot up towards the outside of the right pinky finger. So a nice wide step of that foot. Once you found your way there, right elbow to the knee, bottom ribs pull forward, top hand reaches up into that variation of our side angle. Once you found it, take a nice big breath. And then we're going to add on to this little variation here. We're going to circle the hands around and down, and then we're going to walk out at a 45-degree angle. So you're going to walk your hands out towards the corner of your mat, like the top half of the body is in a downward dog type of position. Legs are in that modified extended side angle position. Let your chest drop down. Take a nice deep breath. Hopefully here you're feeling a little sensation maybe in that right inner thigh. Nice. And then when you're ready, you're just going to walk your hands back through center. We're going to curl the back toes under, pick that back knee up. So now you're hopefully in the wide lunge position. And then we're going to turn the front toes out so we can hop the back foot up to a nice wide squatting position. So hop that back foot up to the top left corner, sink your butt down for 1 gentle breath, and then right away, pick your butt up, toe heel your feet so they're about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing, take your time as you come up. Shrug out your shoulders, wiggle out your hips, let go of anything you may have come across, and then see if you can find your mountain pose again at the top of your mat. Anchor down into your feet, reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, whatever feels the best to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or release, that's your choice. Hand to the knee, lift your chest, pull that hip crease back, arms reach up and overhead. Nice. Right hand to the hip, left hand's going to stay up. 3 little side bends. Lean over to the right. Bring it back up with control. Lean over to the right. Bring it back with control. Lean over to the right. Bring it back with control right into a rotation. Left hand's going to find the right knee. Rotate to the right. Maybe look over your back shoulder if you can. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, unwind, frame the front foot, 3 half splits here. Pull the hips back, peel the front toes up. Find that nice gentle rocking motion. Just make sure that the back knee feels like it's in a comfortable position. Awesome. And then the next time you come forward, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up through your runner's lunge, take a breath. Plant your palms, step back through a plank, and then right away, bring your knees down, lower gently onto your belly. This time as you come on down, we're going to bend both knees and windshield wiper the heels side to side. Wonderful. One more little swish of the heels side to side, and then float those toes down. 3 low cobras. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. One more time. Inhale to lift. See if you can hold. Maybe pick your hands up away from the floor. Notice the strength in your back. And then release, pushing your way all the way back to extended child's pose. So big toes together. Knees are going to walk out nice and wide. Bring your butt back towards your heels. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift up. Left leg is going to step to the outside of that left pinky finger. So we're going to find that nice wide position. Once you've got your way there, left elbow to the knee, bottom ribs pull forward, get that little bit of rotation. Top hand is going to reach up, get that nice big side bend. Wonderful. Now we're going to circle the hands around. So we're going to walk out at that 45-degree angle. So we're going to keep the legs just as they are. Walk your arms out. Find that sort of down dog position with the upper body. Let your chest drop down. Nice. And then we're going to walk our hands back to center. Curl the back toes under. Pick your back knee up, finding that nice wide lunge. And then we're going to turn the left toes out, create some space. Hop your right foot up to the top right part of your mat. So we get that low squatty position. Drop your butt down for 1 gentle breath. And then right away, pick your butt up. Toe heel your feet into about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders around, down, and back. And now we're going to come into a balanced tree pose. So any place you like to be, if you want to stay on your mat, if you like to step off your mat or use a wall or a chair, give yourself a second to find your support team, and then transfer your weight onto your favorite foot to start. Just finding a little bit of sense of balance. Externally rotate the other leg. Maybe you keep your big toe on the ground. Maybe you slide that foot up to your calf, or maybe you help assist it, bring it up into the inner thigh. So any variation that feels sustainable to you, and then hands wherever you like best. Maybe prayer hands at heart center, maybe some cactus arms, maybe arms up and overhead. So find anything that might feel just nice and expressive, or just makes you feel nice and balanced. And then just for a moment here, see if you can come back to your breath awareness. Notice your inhalation coming in through your nose. Notice your exhalation. One more breath. If your foot is at the inner thigh, maybe you help release it down. Take a second to release that tree, bop out your knees, wiggle out your hips, shake anything out that you need to. But then when you're ready, we're going to take it to the other side. So transfer your weight over to the other foot. Maybe you just get that external rotation with the toe on the ground. Maybe you slide the foot up to the calf, or maybe you help bring that foot up to the inner thigh. One side might be totally different than the other, so don't feel like you have to be symmetrical. Just find a place that feels like a good expression of tree pose for you right now on this leg. Arms wherever you like the best. And then once you feel like you've got a sense of stability, can you let your awareness come back to your breath? Notice your inhalation through your nose. and notice your exhalation. Take one more breath. If your foot was on the inner thigh, maybe you help it come off. And any other way, step that foot down. Take a second to just kind of shake it all out. Shake out your legs. Oh, Elvis Asana. I haven't said Elvis Asana in so long. Just give it a good shake and then find your mountain pose again at the top of your mat. And then hopefully your yoga strap or your TheraBand is down on the ground in front of you. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. We're going to grab that yoga strap or the TheraBand. We're going to bring it behind the back as we come up. So we're going to bring it right behind us, create that nice sense of space with a little bit of room to move those arms freely through the back of the body. And then once you feel like you've got a good arm space, right away, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold over, let your arms fall away from the back of your body just as far as feels good to you. Take about 3 to 5 nice deep breaths here. When you feel ready, hands are going to find the low back, bend your knees, lift from the top of your head, let your heart follow, come up nice and slow. Take your yoga strap, throw it towards the end of your mat so you'll have access to it when we come back to it. Find your mountain pose. When you're ready, inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, low lunge, knee down, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Inhale, lift your arms up, take one big breath. Beautiful. Left hand to the hip, right hand stays up, lean over to the left, take one big breath. Lift up and release it right into your twist. Right hand's going to reach across, rotate to the left, look over your back shoulder, take a breath. Awesome. Release your twist, float your hands down. One half splits here, but we're going to stay for an extra cycle of breath. So pull the hips back, peel the front toes up, keep a little bit of a bend in that left knee, then make some space. So think lifting up through the chest so we create that sense of space through the front of the body. And then once you feel like you found that space, soften your nose towards your knee. Take one big breath. Beautiful. Lift up, rock forward, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up, come through your runner's lunge, plant your palms, step back to plank right away. Bring the knees down, gently lower onto your belly. One cobra here, just as high as you like. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you lower down. Push your way back to extended child's pose. Big toes together, knees are going to come out nice and wide. Bring your butt back towards your heels. Just one breath here. Awesome. On your next inhale, lift up like you're coming to a tabletop. Curl your toes under. We're going to lift up into a downward facing dog. Right leg is going to come up nice and high into three-legged dog. And then we're going to step that foot up to the top right corner of our mat. So step it up to the outside of your pinky finger. Find that nice wide lunge, but the back knee is staying lifted up. Left hand is going to stay on the ground. Right hand's going to reach up for a nice big twist. Beautiful. Right hand's going to touch down. Turn the right toes out to make a little space. Hop your left foot up to the top left corner of the mat so we find that nice wide squat position. Drop your butt down. Lift it up right away. Toe heel your feet into about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll up to standing. Roll the shoulders around, down and back. Find your mountain pose again. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked to release. That's your choice. Hand to the knee, lift your chest. Inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Right hand to the hip, left hand stays up, lean over to the right. Lift up and then take it right into your rotation. Left hand's going to find the right knee, rotate, look over your back shoulder. Beautiful. Unwind, release, hands going to find the ground, take it into your half splits. Pull the hips back, peel the front toes up, and then we're going to stay just a little bit extra here. So find that space, lengthen through the front of the body, soften your nose towards your knee, and then come back to your breath. Beautiful. Rock yourself forward, curl the back toes under, lift your back knee up, Through that runner's lunge, plant your palms, step back to plank right away. Bring the knees down, lower gently onto your belly. One over here, just as high as you like. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Push your way back to extended child's pose. Big toes together, knees are gonna walk out nice and wide. Bring your butt back to your heels. Stay here for one cycle of breath. Inhale as you lift your butt up away from your heels, curl your toes under. Exhale up to a downward facing dog. Left leg is gonna come up nice and high, three-legged dog. We're gonna step that left foot up to the top left corner of our mat. So step it to the outside of that left pinky finger. Beautiful. Once you've found that wide lunge, right hand's gonna stay down, left hand's gonna reach up for a nice big twist. Nice. Left hand's gonna touch down, turn the left toes out. Hop your right foot up to the top right corner of your mat. This time we're gonna stay in that low squat position. So if you need a support, use your block. You're just gonna place that block right underneath your butt so that you feel like it's a good supportive position. But if you love Malasana and it's a squat that works good for your body, take a second, elbows to the inner thighs, prayer hands together, nice tall lifted spine. Take one big breath here. Beautiful. Soften your elbows, settle your butt down onto the ground. Bring your legs together and we're going to start to find our way down to the ground. So we want to have access to our yoga block and our yoga strap. So just make sure your stuff is nearby. You have them handy, and then come down onto your back. Take your time as you come down. Beautiful. Once you've found your way down, grab your yoga strap. We're going to catch hold of the right foot right away. So make a little loop, catch hold of the bottom of the right foot, send your left leg nice and long. Both ends of your strap are going to be in the right hand. So right hand, right foot, left arm is going to come out like a little anchor, and you're just going to swing that leg side to side. Use your handhold to do most of the heavy lifting. So if you can, let your arm do the work and let your leg be as soft and loose as possible. Lovely. The next time that leg swings out to the right, let it swing out nice and wide as your body will allow. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Use your hand to help bring it back in. And now we're going to keep that leg up and overhead, but loosen your strap. Step your left foot up into the loop, release your right leg and let your right leg go nice and long. Both ends of the strap now in your left hand. Right hand is going to come out like an anchor, and we're going to start to take that leg side to side. Once you've found that motion pattern, can you let your arm do most of the work? Can you let your leg be soft and relaxed? Lovely. The next time the left leg comes out to the left, let it go out as far as feels good to you. Beautiful. And then with control, bring that leg back in. This time we're just going to release our foot from the strap. So go ahead and release it. Set your strap up and off to the side. We are done with our strap for now. And then grab your yoga block. We're going to walk the feet in, bring that block and place it right between the inner thighs. If you've got a throw pillow, just place the throw pillow between your inner thighs. Once you've found your way there, we're going to lift our legs up into a little reverse tabletop situation. Yoga block or pillow, whatever you're holding onto, you're just going to hold with a sense of control. So you're not trying to crush the block, you're not trying to crush your pillow, but just a nice hold so that you feel your inner thighs are engaged. Keep that tabletop position. We're just going to swing the right foot out. So imagine that you're trying to look at your right heel. So you're just going to swing that heel out, but keep your knees connected to your block or your pillow. Hold it there for a second, and then swing it back in, take it over to the left. Swing that left foot out like you're trying to look at your heel or your ankle, and then bring it back in, back to the right. Swing that right foot out, and bring it back in, back over to the left. Swing that left foot out and bring it back in. One more time through. Swing the right foot out and bring it back in. Swing the left foot out and bring it back in. Nice. Grab your block, float your feet down. We're going to come right into a supported bridge. Lift your hips up, slide your block underneath you or your pillow. If you're using a pillow, you're just going to shift it up under there so that you get a nice bit of supported height. If you're using your block, low setting or medium setting are the ideal positions for this one. Unless you're really wicked super tall, then you might go on the tallest setting, but find your setting that feels good to you. And then we're just going to take about 5 nice deep breaths with as little efforting as possible. So we're going to see if we can kind of let go of holding on to any tension through the front pocket area, through the low belly, even around the ribs. So if it helps you find it, take your hands and just kind of smush that skin and connective tissue around, just kind of let it loosen up just a little bit, and then keep that sense of looseness and letting go. Let your arms hang out wherever feels the most comfortable. Come back to your breath, just noticing your inhalation, noticing your exhalation. Take one more breath. And then if your block is on the medium setting, then you'll just play around with if that feels like a good enough position to be in, or do you want to lower it to the lower setting? And if you've got the pillow under your hips, you're good to go. But now we're going to walk our feet nice and long. So we're going to walk our feet to the end of the mat, keep a little bit of a flex in the feet so the legs stay slightly active. You might even feel your glutes squeeze on your block a little bit. Make sure this feels like a comfortable enough position. It's going to feel like a little bit of a gentle stretch through the front of the body. Specifically, we're going to hope to find some stretch through that front pocket area. If all is feeling good and your low back is not complaining about this position, you're going to reach your arms up and overhead and then take a nice active reach. Reach through your fingers, reach through your heels, take 3 nice big breaths. Beautiful. Float your hands down alongside your hips, slide your feet in, lift your hips up away off of your block, move your block or your pillow out from underneath you, lower your hips down. Right away, we're going to bring it into a butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, bring the knees together, thighs together, toes together. So we're going to keep that nice tight position, and then actively push your knees in towards each other. Hold that active position. So knees are actively pushing in, a bit of strength in the inner thighs, a little bit of strength in the outer thighs. Hold that position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that. Step your feet to hip width distance apart. Exhale, lift up into your halfway bridge, keeping the backs of the ribs connected to the ground. Shoulder heads are anchored down. Knees are reaching towards the toes. Take one more moment here. And then with control, release your hips down. Right leg is going to come across the left into a figure 4. So hop that right leg over and across. Keep a little bit of a light flex in that right foot. Lift your left leg up, thread your hands through, find a handhold that works good for you, and then draw the legs into your comfort level. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly and mindfully release. Step the right foot off the left, and then we're going to set up right to the other side. So left leg is going to come across the right. Keep a light flex in that left foot. Lift your right leg up, thread your hands through, find the handhold that works best for you. Draw the legs into your comfort level, and then see if you can come back to your breath. Awesome. When you're ready, slowly release. We're going to come back to that reclined cobbler's pose or butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Take one big breath here. Bring the legs together, knees together, toes together, inner thighs together. Push your knees in towards each other. Hold that active position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that position. Step your feet to hip width distance apart, hands down alongside your hips. Exhale, lift up into your halfway bridge. Think about keeping the backs of your ribs connected, shoulder heads draw down, knees reaching towards the toes. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower with control. Toe heel your feet to the outer edges of your mat, and then take it into some windshield wipers, gently dropping the knees side to side, just inviting some fluid movement back into the hips and a little bit of softening into the low back. And then as you start to find this soft, soothing work here, just kind of tune in and ask yourself, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come to constructive rest from here? Maybe just letting the knees drop in towards each other. Would a reclined cobbler's pose feel good, especially a little supported reclined cobbler's pose? So maybe you tuck your pillows or your blocks underneath your thighs, or maybe you opt for that more traditional shape. So find a variation that feels like a nice place for your body to be this morning, and then take a second to just kind of get your body in place. Work out all your little wiggles, make sure your clothes and your hair feel comfortable. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, maybe you start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your wrists, move your ankles, maybe turn your head a little side to side. Invite any gentle movement in that feels good and helps you reawaken in a nice way. And then if it feels really great to do so, maybe you take it into a big good morning stretch, like yawn. Stretch your arms up and overhead, reach your legs nice and long, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes, take a nice big breath back into your body. And then at your own way and at your own pace, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Preferred position would be Sukhasana. We're going to come back to our little twist with a side bend just to kind of tune in at the end of the practice to see how it feels. So if you can, find your Sukhasana, nice little crisscross seat, and then find that nice uplifted spine, move right into a little rotation. Right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand comes behind you, take a nice big breath. Take that left hand, reach it behind the back of your head, tip over and take a nice big side bend. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Lift up, release, and take that twist all the way over to the other side. Anchor against your knee. And then once you found it, hand behind the head, lean over. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Lift up, rotate back to center, and then both hands are just going to stack right on top of the heart. Close your eyes down. Take a moment, see if you can just tune in and notice. Notice the breath in the side of your body. Notice the breath in the side of your ribs. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Take one more nice big breath. Maybe allow your shoulders to lift and maybe even tense up your face just a little bit. And then as you exhale, let your shoulders soften, soften your jaw, and think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your day. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Tuesday. You guys are amazing.